Well, good morning, or good afternoon. I'm not sure if it's even evening. Um, but this message is for my daughters. It's for my little girls, and I wanted you guys to know some really important information. I want to share it with you. Not sure if I'm going to be able to do this with you later on in life. Not sure, we're not promised tomorrow. So I wanted to have this recorded, and I wanted this in the archives, and Mom will play it for you when you get older. And this is also for any girl or any young lady that may need to make really good decisions when it comes to relationships and friends. So, here it goes. First thing I want to do is I want to tell you two stories. Tell you two stories about how to make really good decisions and how to choose the right person for you in your life. And you get, at some point in time, you're going to become interested in boys. At some point in time, you're going to want to date. You want to get married. You may want to have a boyfriend. And I might not be there to be able to tell you or to give you good input. So please use this wisely and go back to it, refer to it, and listen to everything that I'm talking about. I want you to make a great decision. Therefore, I'm giving you information, inside information that, any other teenage boy or young man in the world are probably like, why did he tell them our secrets? I'm telling the secrets because I care more about you than I do about them. It's God's honest truth. Okay? So, the Bible teaches us, and Peter says, be alert and of sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. I don't want that someone to be you. So I want you to be prepared. I want you to be able to stand firm and to know that you made great decisions. Now, getting back to the whole situation with boys. The two stories I want to tell you about should help you to be able to really see where things are. And even though these stories are from 2,000 years ago, they're still practical today. Okay, first story comes from the book of Samuel, 2 Samuel 13. You go back and read it. I'm just going to paraphrase it and use my own words so that you understand what happened. There was a prince. His name was Amnon, and he was in love with his sister Tamar, his half-sister Tamar. Amnon every morning would wake up and he really looked like he was just in really bad shape. And one day, one of his friends says, "Why you, the king's son, look so haggard morning after morning?" And Amnon said, "Hey, I'm such a bad shape because I'm in love with my half-sister Tamar." And his friend was very crafty, very slick. And his name was Jonadab. And he says, "Well, look, I'll tell you what you should do. And here's what you do." So he's trying to teach him the secret. And Jonadab tells him, "Tell the king that you're sick and that you want your sister to prepare some food for you." And so the next day, Amnon actually, he does it. He tells the king, "Oh, I'm so sick. I want some bread and have my sister Tamar come make it before me." And so the king sends Tamar to Amnon's room and he has her make the bread. And as she prepares the bread and she brings it to Amnon, he goes, "Oh, get this away from me." And he kicks all the servants out of the room. He goes, "No, come bring it here by my bedside." And so Tamar went and brought the bread to him right to the bedside. And he grabbed her. And he tells her, "Sleep with me, my sister. Come to bed with me." And she goes, "No, don't do this to me." He goes, what would people think of me? What shame would come upon me? And what will people think of you? They'll think that you're one of the fools of Israel. But since he was stronger than her, he raped her. He hurt her. Took advantage of her. He stole from her. And she was put to shame. She was a desolate woman from that point on. The reason I share this with you, and I want you to know that story about Amnon and Tamar, is because when you're trying to figure out who likes you and who wants to be with you and who tells you all of these sweet nothings, and trust me, unfortunately, as a man, I've done this. We tell women what they want to hear in order to get them where we want them to be. And until God straightens us out, men are going to do what's going to be in their own best interest. So look at his friends. Amnon's friend Jonadab was the one, his cousin Jonadab, was the one that actually helped him to create a slippery slope. Who are the friends of the guys that are interested in you? What do? Are they the type that are sitting around the lunch table and bragging about what they did to Susie or Jenny or the preacher's daughter? And trust me when I tell you this, the fact that you are a person that goes to church, the fact that you know something about God and you have a standard and there's something different about you, that makes you even more of a trophy for a guy like that. So that when they do accomplish what they want to, they're going to go back to their friends and say, hey, I got the preacher's daughter. Or, hey, I got the girl that was so hard to get. I got the April Kepners of the world. You know, Mrs. Religious. I got into her pants. And it was good. And that's what they do to their friends. And they don't care anything about you. When Amnon raped Tamar, he hated her. He hated her more than he loved her. So he never really loved her in the first place. He just lusted after her. So I'm going to teach you how to test to see if these guys' motives are really true. The next story I want to share with you comes from the book of Genesis, in the book of chapter 29. You go back and you read this. And this is a story about Rachel and Jacob. Now, Laban had two daughters. And the older daughter's name was Leah, and the younger daughter's name was Rachel. So Leah had lovely eyes, but Rachel, she was shapely and she was beautiful. And Jacob was in love with Rachel. He was so in love with Rachel, he went to Laban and said, hey, listen, give me your daughter Rachel to marry, and I'll work for you for 7 years. And so Jacob went and he worked for Laban for 7 years. But to him, they seemed like they were but a few days. And after the 7 years had passed, he says, give me my wife. Let me sleep with her. And so Laban tricked him, and Laban gave him his older daughter, Leah. And Jacob woke up the next day and was pretty upset. It's like, why did you do that? Why did you trick me? And Laban said, I can't give you my youngest daughter first. We can't put them out to be married. We have to marry off the older daughter. But work for me for another 7 years, and I'll give you Rachel. And so what ended up happening is Jacob worked an additional 7 years. So that's a total of 14 years he worked in order to get the woman that he truly wanted to be with. And he loved her more than anything in the world. And see, true love, a real man, understands that it's worth waiting for in order to be with the woman that he wants to be with. So this is the test that I want to give you, that you can use to see if the motivation of the guys that are interested in you are true. One, ask them. Just ask them. It's like, hey, don't ask them in a way that's accusational, but in a way that may even, seem like you're giving them what they want. It's like, hey, do you want to sleep with me? Or do you want to hook up? If they tell you, yeah, guess what? They show their true colors, because guys, they really can't hide what they're really after. And maybe some of them, this video might have gone viral. I don't know. Maybe some of them heard this video and they're going to tell you no at first. But you can tell by the way they touch you and the way their hands slip and the way they want to honor you. And if a guy honors you and is willing to wait 7 years, maybe 2 years or 3 years, whatever the time may be, and is going to be willing to respect your relationship with God, that's the guy that you would want to trust. If they're willing to wait, they're willing to be patient, and they're willing to show you the truth. Test their motivations. Look at their friends, because that's really important too. Because the guy that you're interested in, he is what his friends are. And so if his friends are a bunch of loudmouths and braggers, then somewhere along the line, he's going to be a part of that same group. My last thought that I wanted to share with you is comes from 1 Corinthians 15:33. I don't know all your friends, but I do know this much is true. In 1 Corinthians 15:33 it says, do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. You have a great character. You are worth fighting for. You are important. But don't be fooled. Remember, the devil, he wants to try to devour. He wants to try to trick you. Sometimes we can't tell when we're being deceived. So get real good advice from people who really do care for you, and be careful. And I'm going to try to be there for you for the rest of my life, but this video is put together just in case I don't have that opportunity. I love you. You're on my heart, and you be blessed.